Hello all, I know we're supposed to have a live lesson this week, but for one reason or another getting things sorted ready for us to get back to school. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see each other's lovely faces today. So instead, I've got a PowerPoint for you of exactly what it is that I want you to do. So first things first, in your book, I would like you to answer these three questions. What does a plant need to survive? What does a human need to survive? And what does a human need to thrive? So you might just want to give some examples of each. So for example, a plant needs water to survive. I know that from my biology lessons way back when. So pause the video here, 1 minute max. You really don't need to spend long answering those three questions in your book, please. So this is our title for today, what are human rights? And we've moved on from the GCSE unit we were doing, giving you a taster of what GCSE philosophy and ethics was like, and we've moved on to a unit about human rights and the Holocaust. And you might be thinking, well, how does human rights and Holocaust link? Well, hopefully through this unit you'll be able to see that. And secondly, you might be thinking, well, we've done the Holocaust in history, and that also is very much true, but we're going to look at it from a completely different standpoint. And you're going to learn things about the Holocaust and about genocide that history lessons can't teach you. The stuff you know from history is going to give you a really good backing for this. So, title and date written down in your books, please, and then we can get going. So on the right hand side here, these are the human rights that are given to people. Now these were created by the United Nations in 1948. So after the Second World War, they were all a bit like, oh guys, that didn't really go well, loads of people died and were treated really badly. Let's make a set of rules that we all agree to stick to that make sure that that never happens again. And so all of the countries within the United Nations, they agreed to stick to these rules. Okay, they changed slightly. There was a little bit of an add-in in 1999 and again in 2004, I think, but they really haven't changed significantly. So what I would like you to do is decide which of these you think is the most important, all the way down to the one you think is the least important. So in your books, you don't need to write the whole of the human right out, because that'll take hours. You could just write A equals 3, as in you think it's the third least important. 14 is going to be the one you think is the most important. Okay, so you could write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N in your margin, and next to it write the number that relates to it, 14 being the one you think is the most important. So pause the little video here and have a go at doing that for me, please. Super, so now that you know what the human rights are, let's see whether or not those things are being done in countries. Now remember I said that only countries within the United Nations have to stick to these rules, and there are countries that aren't in the United Nations. And in a moment I'm going to show you some images with a bit of information on them of places around the world that have done things that contravene the Human Rights Act, as in they break some of those rules. For each one, you're going to need to pause the video and you're going to need to summarise what you see and which human right you think it breaks. Now this shouldn't take you any more than the remainder of the lesson, okay? I don't want you to spend lots and lots of time on this, okay? So I'll talk you through the first one and then I'll just give you a little bit of time and you'll need to pause the video so that you can keep up, okay? So here's the first one here. And this is in 2007, Brazil. There were lots and lots of people who were killed by the police, and it would appear that they were killed for no reason. So these guys here were just pulled off this bus and killed by the police. However, the police have done absolutely nothing to investigate what these police officers did, and they were just labelled as acts of resistance, as in the people on that bus were causing a problem and not doing anything to help the police, and so the police were in their right to kill them. Now that breaks the human rights that you can see at the top where it says everyone has the right to life, liberty and security, because obviously these people didn't have the right to life. Okay, so in your book you could just write a little summary of what it's saying is going on in Brazil. Don't write the whole thing out, don't waste loads of your time. And then write, this breaks the right to life. Simple as that, okay? So you're going to do the rest of them for me, and then we will have a bit of a think of a final idea. So here's the next one. Pause it, have a read, put it into your books. And another one. And another one here. And another one. Make sure that you're summarising and you're telling me which human right it breaks. Fantastic. Okay, so we've seen that there are countries out there that don't have this Human Rights Act, that break them, basically. I suppose they're not really breaking them because they're not their rules, but still they're rules that the rest of us agree are really important, and they're breaking them. Now, in 2019, there were rumours that because of Brexit and various other things, that the government in the UK was going to scrap the Human Rights Act and replace it with a different set of rules, which they said would only apply in the UK. Now, some people were really excited about that because they thought we could have rules that were more specific to the sort of situations we have in the UK. Like maybe some of those rules we don't need to have because they don't really apply in the UK, so it would make it more specific and more kind of tailored to our lifestyles. And some people were absolutely outraged. They said if you scrap our human rights, stuff like what you've just seen is what is going to be happening in the UK. So your last task for today is to write your opinion on whether or not the UK should have scrapped the Human Rights Act or not in your books for me, please. And when you've done that, you are done for today and you can take a break. Well done, guys, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you very, very soon. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.